The work we do on S-Dry mapping maps the energy gradients of what's possible. So it takes constraint mapping, something Alicia first brought us into, and then we created a whole typology of constraints. Resilient, robust, using heavyweight metaphors, and we're building more of those. So we can map constraints and we can gather those at scale across the whole company. And we place them then on an energy grid. So basically, energy cost of change against time to change. And the top right of that are counterfactuals, things which are never going to change. And the bottom left is high volatility. And then we focus people on changing the energy cost of change rather than trying to achieve the change. See the subtlety of this? You say, if we want that to change, how can we reduce the energy cost of change or the time to change, and then see if it happens? And that is actually being taken up at C-level, board level, and by some of the big software. It's taken up rapidly over 6 months since I launched it and published it. It's actually the practical extension of the EU Field Guide on complexity management. From my point of view, it's bigger than Kinevin, all right, in terms of its potential. Yeah? So that's kind of like one thing that we're currently working on that. The other big thing that we're now about to start work on is what's called the Waggle dance. So the way bees make decisions, so the drones decide they've had enough, so they hatch a new queen, and then the swarm goes off and hangs on a tree. And then individual bees fly off to find a new hive, and they come back to the swarm and they literally dance on the swarm with their tail pointed to where the source is, and other bees will then go and investigate it. And some bees actually push other bees off. If they don't like what that bee's saying, they got a negative feedback as well as a positive one. And after about 2 days, the swarm suddenly knows where to go. We're now building that into distributed decision-making for leaders. Now, we've already done distributed ideation and distributed ethnography. What we're now looking at is basically presenting and representing a problem to multiple trios, getting feedback from those trios until a consensus emerges. And that's a radical alternative, to a lot of the statistical forecasting packages in terms of the way it works.